Hey again! Welcome back to Daily Dose of Anime Recaps. In this video, we'll be covering episodes 5 and 6 of the series The Testament of Sister New Devil. In the initial scene, Basara's jaw drops to the floor after finding Maria lying on top of him naked as he wakes up early in the morning. With his virginity at stake, Basara is left with no choice but to smack Maria hard on the head and bring the pervy little succubus back to her senses. Up next, he accidentally bumps into Mio in the shower, who lands a swift kick on her adopted stepbrother's face out of sheer embarrassment. Mio then throws her typical threat of killing people 100 times over at Basara, and even punishes him with 5 lakh volts of electricity. What's funny is how the sinister succubus Maria is to blame for causing such mayhem. Turns out, the sneaky little twerp had deliberately removed the bathing signboard to let Basara be confused and mistakenly enter the shower. Sometime later, Yuki appears out of the blue and offers to wash his back exactly when Basara is about to take a bath himself. Unfortunately, both are discovered by Mio, who becomes suspicious after finding Yuki's uniform lying outside the bath. What's funny is how the wretched curse activates before Mio has a chance to punish her stepbrother. Now our manly protagonist obviously can't abandon his cute stepsister while she's busy making lewd expressions, can he? To show his care and sense of responsibility, the dude carries Mio back to his room. Once there, Mio recovers in no time after Basara experiments on her with his super pervy techniques for a while. Afterwards, Basara treats Yahiro to a scrumptious dinner at some local restaurant. Previously, the two had reached a truce and therefore aren't fighting anymore. As they chat, Basara's former enemy brings up his father Jin, claiming how the latter is revered as a war god among the demons. Astonishingly, one of the reasons the late demon lord Wilbert chose to avoid war was fearing Basara's father Jin's insane amount of strength. Yahiro even reveals some precious intel while the two munch on the delicious barbecue. Turns out, the higher-ups from the demon's side are most likely going to send some additional reinforcements soon. This is to help ensure the smooth capture of Mio, heir to the previous demon lord Wilbert. Furthermore, Yahiro even points out how forming a master-servant pact with somebody has some extra perks as well, besides just granting them the ability to trace each other's location or to prevent a betrayal. For one, so long as the master and his servant are able to cultivate enough trust in one another, both their powers will continue to rise significantly. Simply put, more trust and loyal equals a stronger combat ability for them both. The conversation is soon cut short once their high school nurse, Chisato, arrives and asks to join their table. Both dudes instantly agree, of course, and all three of them drink merrily together. Later on outside, Chisato hugs Basara out of nowhere. Guess she saw him worried senseless and was hoping to provide some level of comfort. Anyhow, feeling a sense of warmth, Basara soon opens up to Chisato, claiming how he's in a tough spot and has no idea what to do. The woman simply suggests for him to figure out what he's fighting for and then draw a line that he absolutely refuses to surrender even if all hell breaks loose, etc. Before leaving, Basara's mysterious school nurse casts a protection spell on him, claiming how it's nothing but a normal charm from her village. On the flip side, Yahiro meets up with his colleague Valga at the rendezvous point. Turns out this brawny newcomer is the reinforcement Yahiro mentioned to Basara a while back. Despite Yahiro's warning, Valga hurries over to look for Mio, hoping to capture her ASAP and complete his mission. After Valga's departure, a female demon named Zest unexpectedly shows up as well. Turns out, she's the right hand to Zolgia, the wretched demon general who had butchered Mio's parents months prior. Meanwhile, back at home, Basara shares his findings regarding the master-servant pact with Maria, who verifies their authenticity. As a result, both start playing a dating simulator to help Basara's instincts as a flirtatious playboy and eventually help him gain Mio's absolute trust and loyalty. After all, as explained by Yahiro earlier, only by having extreme faith in one another will the two be able to go up and grow infinitely stronger. Regrettably, Mio overhears their awful conversation about letting Basara dominate her completely. This results in poor Maria being dragged away by the infuriated Mio, while Basara simply continues to gawk at his two stepsisters in a stupid manner. Some distance away, three hero clan members named Shiba, Takashi, and finally, Yuki's younger sister, Kurumi, are seen slaying a bunch of lesser demons in the neighborhood. Takashi soon receives an update from the village and claims how Mio's status has been changed from being a target of observation into a target for elimination. The next day, Yuki asks Basara out on a date and he agrees. In such a way, we witness the two childhood sweethearts going on a shopping spree that evening. Regrettably for Yuki, her wish of spending chill time alone with Basara is ruined thanks to Mio, who stalks them all the way there. Initially at odds, the two girls soon discover common ground and make up with each other. Heck, Mio even helps her love rival Yuki hunt for various suitable dresses and all. A while later, Yuki's younger sister Kurumi comes looking for her, hoping to have a long chat with her elder sister in private. Meanwhile, Basara and the rest become worried due to Yuki's sudden disappearance. Alas, their search yields no fruit and Yuki remains missing for a while. Basara soon calls the search to a halt once the newly arrived Volga comes looking for trouble with him and Mio. Astonishingly, Volga continues to have the upper hand in battle despite Basara having teamed up with his two stepsisters, Mio and Maria. Just then, Takashi appears out of the blue and pierces Volga's granite chest with a single blow using his divine spear, Bayako. Shiba, who is apparently the eldest as well as the strongest among all present, takes the lead from there by announcing a 3 versus 3 death battle between Basara's clan and youngsters from the hero clan. What saddens Basara is how, besides Takashi and Kurumi, the third opponent on the hero's clan side is none other than his beloved childhood sweetheart, Yuki. However, Yuki herself is in a tough spot as well. Despite being unwilling, the girl has no choice but to wield her sword against Basara in order to ensure world peace and preserve the hero clan's dignity. As for the mysterious-looking Shiba, he's merely an observer for this battle and doesn't intend to intervene at all. With the 3 versus 3 duel happening in a week or so, Basara and the others have decent time to prepare. Back at home, the boy rings his father's cell phone without sparing a minute. Having been nicknamed as the previous generation's war god, Basara's father Jin obviously isn't a scaredy cat or anything. What's more, he too seems to have a belly full of complaints against the hero clan for having unjustly exiled his son 5 years ago. That said, Jin delivers utmost emotional support to his son Basara, even cheering for him to crush the enemy. As for the consequences, Basara can rest assured of his father's ability to handle them all, and only needs to concentrate on his training. Far away, Yuki's younger sister Kurumi seems to be holding quite a grudge against Basara for causing the tragedy from 5 years ago. Meanwhile, the blondie named Takashi is therefore seen shimmering in impatience for the upcoming duel's beginning. Here we see a flashback of how Takashi once used to be good friends with Basara. Eventually, though, he came to hate Basara for involuntarily massacring a heckload of village folk, including many friends and family. Back in the present, the blondie can't help but anticipate the moment when he thrusts his spear into Basara's chest, tearing him into shreds as a result. Only doing so can be considered as a way to bring solace to his fallen comrades' souls from 5 years ago. Back to Basara, he and Maria continue to discuss various tactics for winning the battle as well as increasing their strength. Regrettably, conventional ways alone won't suffice in case Basara and the rest are to level up ASAP. With all their lives at stake, Mio eventually gives in and allows Basara to dominate her sexually for the purpose of building trust and becoming stronger together as a result. Meanwhile, being a succubus, the greedy Maria continues to feed on the lustful energy released during Mio's intimate sessions with Basara. As a result, all three of them experience great progress within just a single week. On the flip side, Kurumi is seen lecturing her elder sister Yuki for foolishly becoming fond of Mio, an observation target. On the following day, Yahiro pays a visit to Basara and threatens to annihilate all Hero Clan henchmen, including Yuki, so long as the clash with them starts posing a threat to Mio's life. Later that evening, Yuki calls for a meetup and declares the location for their upcoming duel. Soon, she starts begging Basara to opt out of the battle, but alas, the stubbornly loyal dude refuses to abandon both his stepsisters in times of need. With nothing left to say, Yuki soon takes her leave. knowing there's no way of avoiding a clash against her beloved Basara anymore. This wraps up the episode's end, and we are left pondering several mysteries. For one, how will Basara's party fare against Takashi and his fearsome divine spear, Bayako? Furthermore, is Yuki truly willing to cut her ties with Basara and even help eliminate him once and for all? Last but not least, will the fearsome Shiba continue to stand by throughout the entirety of the battle as promised? Or will he end up making an unexpected move and disrupt the battle's pace as a result? We'll surely discover the answers within the next couple of episodes of the Testament of Sister New Devil. And, in case you're a subscriber with notifications enabled, you'll know as well soon enough.